you actually see the light behind the sofa? This is the Viltrox RB08, and it's actually turned into one of my little favourite video production accessories. Viltrox kind of sent this out to me, and I said that if I enjoyed it, I'd include it in a video, and I've absolutely loved it. I think being able to place lights in such super sort of creative little areas is kind of just super cool. You can immediately sort of change the vibe or help increase the vibe of your shot, and hey, you can do it for super cheap. So just check this out in the description, the Viltrox RB08. If you're looking for a cheap, pretty cool extra filmmaking accessory. And now I'm going to go and put it behind the sofa again. What is up, creatives? This is Tom. Welcome back to another Budget Wednesday. This time, I think actually it's on a Thursday. But anyway, we'll forget about that and roll the intro. So today I want to talk to you about this. Or more specifically, I want to talk to you about this guy on the top. This is an NPF battery plate. It takes an NPF battery and converts it into a DTAP signal or a DTAP connection, which means you can plug this plate into the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And I know before you all start typing comments being like, Tom, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera is not a budget camera. I do want to talk about why I think this plate particularly is a fantastic choice or a fantastic budget choice for anyone picking up or thinking about picking up the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, especially because this battery plate in total is going to run you about $15. So the Pocket 4K. This is an incredible camera. It blows other cameras of a similar price range out in terms of just image quality and production capability. However, it is true to its name. It is a cinema camera. This means that you really need to rig it out to sort of bring it to its full capability. Things like the battery life are just not great on it out of the box. You're only probably going to get about 20 to 30 minutes of recording time. That means you do need to rig this camera out to basically get the full capability out of it. I myself do have a larger Blackmagic Pocket Cinema rig that I use for, I guess, sort of bigger production stuff. And the total price on that build is probably close to about $3,000. This build, this setup that I've got right here, this is going to run you close to about $1,600, obviously minus the lens. So when we're talking about the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, when we're dealing with any setup for this camera, what I'm wanting to fix are two main things. First of all is battery life. You obviously want to be able to shoot for a good few hours without having to worry too much about batteries. And the other is storage. Now you could use SD cards, but you're going to sort of run out of space pretty quickly, or you could shoot CFast, but that is a very expensive option. So personally, I go with an SSD. So those are the two things that we are sort of ticking off with a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema build. So this build tackles both of those things head on, and it means that you have a setup which you can mount on a tripod for maybe higher production interviews and things like that, or run and gun handheld shooting for all of your B-roll needs. The beauty of an NPF battery system like this is that you can just take these batteries on and off. So I can just slide that battery. This is a standard Sony NPF. You can get those in tons of different sizes and they're pretty inexpensive. So you can just have a few of these in your bag, maybe a few larger capacity NPF batteries as well, slide them on to the plate just like this, and then connect them, if I can actually get it in, and connect it to the system just like that, nice and easy. So this little plate takes two NPF batteries and then connects via DTAP connection as mentioned. It even has a capacity button on the side so you can check how much battery you've got left. So you will need a DTAP to DC power connection cable for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. I'll have one linked below. Personally, I have a coiled one as I just think it's a bit neater. I also have this paired with the Samsung T5 SSD for storage, and all of this is obviously connected by the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera small rig cage, which I've just been so impressed with. The cage is connected to the battery plate using this small rig V-mount plate, which just screws nice and easily onto the cage. It's worth noting here that I'd probably only use the setup where the battery plate is on top of the rig for situations where my camera is on sticks. I think otherwise I actually prefer to have it mounted underneath, because for run and gun shooting, having the plate mounted on the top right of the cage does make the power button a little tricky to press. Again, not a huge problem if it's mounted on a tripod, but for situations where you're going to be sort of turning your camera on and off again regularly, like maybe you were traveling it might be better to do this. Just using this small rig tool. I know you guys probably get bored of me saying this, but it's definitely one of the best things that I own. I just unscrew the V-mount plate from the top of the rig and then screw it onto the bottom of the cage instead. Then the V-mount can be slotted straight underneath. So really guys, that's basically that. This is an alternative battery solution or alternative rig option for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. Budget Wednesday, this is supposed to be a filmmaking series where we go through cheap, the affordable. However, I just think people get sort of sucked into building these enormously complicated rigs, and this camera is fantastic on its own. Let the image quality do the talking. By fixing this battery and the storage, you've got a very viable content creation option for both run and gun stuff, but also static stuff as well. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these larger camera rig builds, but I'm just basically showing you that there are other options available. Particularly if you're just starting out, you could copy this setup, be well on your way to creating some great content and saving a bunch of cash at the same time. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions about the build or the rig down below. I'll be down there in the comments as always responding, and I will catch you guys next time.